If you have anything to do with the anime community, then you'd most likely be familiar with the recent rise of Bleach fans finally crawling out of their caves. I feel like it's fair to say that the trailer released for the new season and the final arc of Bleach coming soon is a cause of this. And I'd be lying if I said I wasn't hyped for this myself. Bleach was the first out of the big three that I watched, and I just recently rewatched it, and it was pretty good. Most of the hate that people give Bleach is unjustified, and it is actually a really underrated series. But you'll hear a lot of people say that Bleach is mid or Bleach is trash, but that's usually coming from people who hadn't actually seen it. As someone who has played Jump Force and has seen all the new character designs and new power-ups, I am very much interested to see what's coming in the new season. But of course there are gonna be people who are gonna hate, and a certain fandom who hates Bleach, and the most common argument you will hear from these people is Bleach fell off after Soul Society. And this makes me think, what the fuck? Soul Society? This arc right here? This arc? And to make things worse, you'll sometimes hear Bleach fans say that the best arc in Bleach was Soul Society. So whilst rewatching Bleach, I was expecting Soul Society to be this amazing standing ovation, absolute peak fiction, great fights with high friction, and just an overall 10 out of 10 arc. Yeah, well, judging by the title, I guess you can tell my expectations weren't met. Now, of course, if you haven't seen Bleach, then I highly recommend it, but don't worry, I'm not gonna spoil too much. But of course, I have to mention some things or this video just wouldn't make sense. But with all that said, go get a drink or a snack, or if you're already eating, then make sure to chew slowly. But let's get on with the video. Now, for anyone who's typing up an angry comment saying I'm an idiot who doesn't understand good writing, please put your penis away for 5 minutes and let me explain. I'm not saying Bleach is bad as a whole, not even close. I'm saying that Soul Society as an arc was absolute horse dog shit. I'd even go as far as to say that it was boring. This is nowhere near the best arc in Bleach. In my opinion, this is probably the worst arc in all of the big three. Oh, but Rukia got saved by Ichigo. I don't care. I don't give a shit. This moment right here was not hype for me in the slightest. I watched this shit with the straightest face a human could possibly hold. Not because I'd already seen it before, but because it was bullshit. I refuse to believe that a man who just got his shit rocked by a lieutenant can pull up to the fucking Soul Society, beat the guard, beat Soul Reapers who have been training quadruple the time that he has been alive, beat the lieutenant who just whooped him, then beat 2 captains, all before Rukia's execution. Bullshit. But he trained before he got there. Lick my fucking nuts, you incel. Who did he train with? Whis? Do you honestly think that Kisuke is pulling any of this off? I know this was the first major arc in Bleach, but come on, man. You couldn't make this shit a little bit more believable? I don't care how big of a Bleach fan you are, you cannot deny that Ichigo has so much fucking... Okay, I'll be the first one to say it. I don't mind plot armor in anime. There's just some times where you need the power of friendship to push through. Sometimes they just need that flashback. Sometimes they have to be reminded why they can't give up. I'll be the first to admit I love that shit. I love shonen. I'm a shonen man. All my favorite anime are shonen. So I am used to extreme cases of plot armor, and I overlook it because in the moment I am fucking hyped, and the authors mainly do it just to keep the story moving. But I am sorry, I cannot let this slide. There is no fucking reason, no reason why Ichigo should be fighting 2 captains and still being able to walk afterwards. And don't give me that perfect Soul Reaper bullshit. That's not how prodigies work, and you know that. I'm tired of seeing people defend Ichigo getting a Bankai in 3 days. There is no reason outside of him being the main character that he should have got a Bankai in 3 days. Bear in mind, this is a technique that takes people 10 years to master, and Ichigo mastered it in 3 fucking days.
But he's just Ichigo. He's got so much spiritual pressure that he mastered Bankai because he's destined to become a Soul Reaper.
Shut the fuck up. I don't know what you're talking about, and neither do you. You don't know shit. This was an arse pull used by the writers, and you believed it, you fucking idiot. People like to come at Luffy for mastering Haki in 2 years, or people love to come at Naruto for mastering Sage Mode in a week, but not one person has said anything about Ichigo mastering this amazing, holy gracious technique in 3 days. And sorry to say this, but Ichigo's Bankai is so boring. Like, we have all these insane overpowered Bankai, and the main fucking character gets this skinny willy stick that makes him run faster. Yeah, okay, whatever. Now, look, this is the first fight. You know, Ichigo just barely beat the god. So now we get to see how Ichigo's strength fares up against another Soul Reaper. But not just any Soul Reaper, this guy is a part of the 11th Division, 3rd seat, One Punch Man. So this guy isn't a pushover, this guy is tough. But this is a good new insight on Ichigo after his training, especially after his loss. This fight was pretty nice. I mean, Ichigo was at full strength and his opponent was fooling around a bit too much. If only he got serious and used his fist. I mean, fair play, he did have his training with Kisuke and that came in handy with this fight. So far, there hasn't been anything too out of line.
Let me get inside.
Now, as for this fight, so far I'm actually interested in seeing how Ichigo fares up with Renji, especially after his loss in the world of the living. And to be honest, this fight was actually pretty good. It's kind of weird how he was just bleeding and is all good in the same day, but you know, it's the average shonen main character. I feel like Ichigo winning this fight is perfectly understandable considering that, you know, Renji didn't really want to fight in the first place, and because Renji didn't want to see Rukia die. That's fine, yeah, that's fine. Kinda weird how Ichigo was matching Renji and Bankai even though Ichigo was in base form, but we look over that because shonen main character. Jokes aside, this fight was actually pretty good. Hey, maybe Soul Society isn't so bad. I mean, all these fights are quite evenly matched. I wonder who Ichigo's gonna go up against next. I mean, it couldn't be anyone too strong. I mean, if Ichigo's struggling to defeat a lieutenant, then there's no way that he'd have a chance to defeat a captain. I mean, that's just silly. I mean, there's no reason. This fight was the biggest piece of that Bleach has ever tried to pull. There's no reason that Ichigo should have been able to breathe around Kenpachi. Ichigo trading blows with Kenpachi should be in his fucking dreams. There is not one valid reason in all of the Bleach franchise that Ichigo at this point in time should come out of this fight breathing. And I don't want to hear that, oh, Kenpachi had bells on his hair. I don't give a fuck if Kenpachi is running around with a reflective jacket with air horns on his feet. There is no way in Ichigo is dodging anything that Kenpachi throws at him. One slice, one cut, and Ichigo should be dead. Ichigo was literally relative to Renji a few episodes ago, and now he's on par with Kenpachi? Not to mention, he doesn't even have a Bankai right now. This man is in base form, running around with a kitchen knife, fighting the strongest captain and holding his own. Yeah. This is trash. I am sorry to all my Bleach fans out there, but there is no defending this. Let me just restate this. I love Bleach. Everything outside the Soul Society arc is amazing. But come on, man. There is no defending this. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. Ichigo must have 20 totems of undying in his inventory to be surviving this fight. Yoruichi must have gave Ichigo some of her 9 lives, because there's no way this man is surviving any of this shit. Let's just say that Ichigo beating Kenpachi was most definitely not just from pure strength. There's just no excuse for this one. This is a clear case point, plot, armor. But let's just say, by a miracle, Ichigo comes out on top, somehow. Let's say that Ichigo pulled off some voodoo shit, cursed energy, and actually beat Kenpachi. That's gotta be him done. I mean, it's over. There's no way he can fight anyone else, right? Right? At this point, I give up. There's no amount of realism or even a remote feeling of power progression. This arc feels like scream really loudly and you'll get stronger. And as much as people want to clown Dragon Ball for doing this, at least Goku put in that fucking work. At least Vegeta put in them fucking hours. But Ichigo, nah, I'm good. I'ma train for a few days and unlock a sacred power which takes people years to master. Yeah, that's me. And as much as people want to get mad at Dragon Ball for doing the screaming thing, at least Goku doesn't have to rely on a demon deep inside him. And as much as I would like to get hyped in moments like these, I was more overwhelmed with the feeling of Ichigo really can't fucking lose. Even though it's a shonen anime and the goal is for the main character to always come out on top, in this arc, that reality was blatantly obvious. I mean, I just couldn't get invested in any of the fights. It really felt like Ichigo was the strongest man walking, no one could stop him. And as much as people want to say Kenpachi was holding back or Byakuya didn't want to see Rukia die, it doesn't change the fact that Ichigo was pressing them. They couldn't have beaten him even if they wanted to, which is really the reason why I don't like this arc that much. Ichigo just feels way too overpowered for there to be any genuine tension. I mean, you have to be fucking brain dead if you genuinely thought Rukia was gonna die when you just watched Ichigo beat the ever-living shit out of everyone who tested him. There are other fights and plots that go on during the Soul Society, but let's be honest, no one really gives a shit about those. Now, as I said at the beginning of the video, I don't hate Bleach. I really do like Bleach, but I feel like a lot of people do overhype Soul Society just a little bit. It's only after Soul Society where I think Bleach actually gets good, because that's when Ichigo finally starts taking his L's. And he does take a lot. But in Shonen, I feel like making the main character lose once in a while is a good thing, because making them win all the time is kind of boring, unless it's a show which bases itself off that. In that case, I feel like all main characters should have some struggles, and in Soul Society, it didn't feel like Ichigo had any. But of course, that issue is fixed later on in the series. But yeah, this video wasn't really about the Bleach series as a whole. This is more about, hey, Soul Society actually wasn't that good. Because there are many people out there who actually think Soul Society was peak Bleach, or Soul Society was the best arc in Shonen ever. Like, no, what the fuck? Soul Society was piss poor. I hated that arc. Literally every other Bleach arc stomps on it. Or maybe I just don't understand the complexity of Ichigo running around raw dogging everyone he sees. I don't know. I didn't really like Soul Society that much. I don't really see why it was so inspiring that much. Even when I saw it when I was a kid, I didn't really think this was the greatest ever. But hey, this is the end of the video now. I feel like I was rambling on a little bit at the end. But if you liked, then please leave a like. And if you disliked, then feel free to degrade me in the comments. But with all that said, I hope you guys enjoyed, and subscribing is free. I won't charge you. Some people even theorize that pressing the subscribe button relieves stress. You should try it. But with all that said, make sure to keep drinking water and get enough sleep at night. Okay, goodbye.